Well, hello and welcome to Faith, Philosophy and Life with me, Mr. Shelton. It's great that you joined me again, and congratulations, you have made it to almost the summer, and you've coped with me for most of the year. So well done with that. And today what we're going to do is we're going to look at heroes, and we're going to think about how Britain became Great Britain, and the things that we have in terms of saints, and the flag, the Union flag, and some of the things with that. And you're going to do some research based on that as well during this session. Now, behind me is an image of one of my heroes from all time. This is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He, as you might know, was a lead in bringing black civil rights to America in the 1960s. And I just find him an absolutely inspirational person. I wonder who your hero might be, because today we're going to be thinking about heroes of our nations. So as you start to think a little bit about who your hero is, go and grab a pen and a piece of paper, because for the final time this year, here's our cheesy intro music. Okay, so our title today is What Do Saints Teach Us About the UK? What do Saints teach us about the UK? Let's get that down and underline neatly. And today we're going to explore what a patron saint is and what flags teach us about the UK as well. As usual, pause this clip wherever you need to. Our learning outcomes then, it's going to be a good outcome if you can describe how the Union flag is created. Great if you can explain what a patron saint is. And even better if you create a leaflet or a poster showing your learning. So we've got reading for meaning because you're going to do some research and you're going to have to try and interpret that information. During today's session then we're going to look at saints. There'll be a little quiz on the information I go through with you. There'll be some flags and then you're going to do some research as well. Before we do that, however, I started thinking about this at the start, which is heroes and heroines. Okay, female heroes. The question is, I'd like you to answer in your book now, is who is your own hero? Mine, for example, was Martin Luther King. What qualities do your heroes or heroines have? What they like? Why do people have heroes or heroines? What's their reason for that? And then come up with some examples as well for what heroes and heroines might be. Now, I've come up with some topics here of football. You might have a hero in football or politics or science or maybe even a teacher. Maybe. And so I'd like you to think about who your hero is, and in your book just write 5 lines that explains who your hero is and why they are your hero. So you're going to write 5 lines in your book explaining who your hero is and why they are your hero. And you might also think about the qualities question and why people have them as well. So pause me now and then come back to me when you're done. Okay, so we're going to start by thinking, what is a saint? Okay, now there's a few different interpretations of this from a Christian perspective. Roman Catholics will only call some people a saint. So, for example, St. Francis of Assisi, or another one could be St. Peter from the New Testament. The title is given to people who are thought to have done miracles and helped others as well. They're also thought of as being holy, and that's a very long process in order to become a saint. And holy means to be set apart, so someone who is chosen or special. So there is a really long process that saints might have to go through, or people will have to go through, and it can only really happen after they are dead. So you don't really get living saints in the Roman Catholic tradition. However, Protestants, so for example the Church of England, will call anyone who's a Christian a saint. Okay, so I'm a saint if I'm a Christian, according to the Church of England and Protestants, because they say, according to the Bible, the holy book that is for Christians, as you know, Paul refers to believers of Jesus as saints. So here's a little quote. Greet all the saints in Christ Jesus. The brothers who are with me send greetings. All the saints send greetings, especially those who belong to Caesar's household. It's not Caesar salad, that is Caesar as in the king. So Here Paul is saying very clearly that everyone that's a Christian, that's all saints, everyone who's a Christian is a saint. Now there is a third type of saints as well, which is patron saints. Now a patron saint is someone who's thought to be a defender of a group or a nation. Normally there are lots of myths or legends about these saints. Most of them probably aren't true, to be fair. But a country or a group will adopt them as some sort of hero for them. And there are patron saints of countries and groups, and St. Celia, for example, is the patron saint of music. So what we're going to do as we go through this lesson is you're going to do a little bit of research on the patron saints of the UK as well. Now, there's 4 questions here for you to answer in your book, so you're going to pause me now, and I'd like you to answer these questions in full sentences. So pause me now and get those questions answered based on what we've just talked about. Okay, so what we've done so far then is we've described how a union flag's created. We've not done that yet, but we now have some idea about what a patron saint is, and we're going to do a little bit more work based on that now anyway. So again, I'm going to give you some information about flags. If you wish to make a note or draw any of these, then please do so, but your final task is going to be to look at this information anyway from a number of websites. So it's up to you. I wouldn't personally. I'd just listen to me at this point. I know I could go on a bit, but I'm almost done, I promise you. So I want you to think about how the Union flag is similar to the school badge that you might have. Now, it's about representation of who you are. It's about symbolism of who you and what your school represents. And so the Union flag is symbolic of the UK, and it actually tells a little bit of a story about our history. So the Union flag is made up of 3 flags. Okay, now just wondered if you knew that to start off with. And I wonder why you know that. You might go, Wales, Scotland, England. Well, yeah, but that's not actually quite true. Did you know, though, you might have heard of it as the Union Jack? Well, actually, no, it's not called the Union Jack. It's only called a Union Jack when it's on a boat. It's called a Union flag. So that image is the Union flag, not the Union Jack, only a Union Jack on a boat. There's an interesting fact for you if you were ever into sailing. Anyway, the first part of the Union flag is the Cross of St. George. Quite sure you will have seen that, especially when it gets to football matches, when England are playing. Okay, so that's the St. George's Cross. So I wonder who St. George was. Well, I'm sure you can read it over my shoulder, but just for the sake of it, because at the end of the year, I'll read it through with you. St. George is the patron saint of England. His emblem, a red cross on a white background, is the flag of England, and it is part of the British flag. St. George's emblem was adopted by Richard the Lionheart and brought to England in the 12th century. The king's soldiers wore it on their tunics to avoid confusion in battle so that they didn't kill the wrong people. And like England, every country in the UK has its own patron saint who in times of great peril is called upon to save the country from its enemies. So, some of what we're thinking about St. George is fact and some of it is fiction, and that's something you are going to look at in a short while. The second part of the Union flag is the St. Andrew's flag. Okay, that's the blue with the white there. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, and Andrew was one of the disciples of Jesus that was crucified on a cross that was shaped like that. So you get those two and you put them together and you've got the first Union flag of 1606. Okay, so then we get to our final section, which is a white background with a red cross, a bit like St. George's but slightly different. It's this one. The third part of the Union flag is St. Patrick's flag. St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick was sent by the Pope to convert people to Christianity in England and Ireland. So when you put them all together, it looks like that. Now, it's very interesting because after the Act of the Union in Ireland with England and Wales in Scotland in 1801, the cross of St. Patrick was combined with the Union flag of St. George of St. Andrew, and that's got the Union flag that has been flown ever since. Now you might say, but we're missing the Welsh. Well, yes, we are. Because in 1606, when the flag was being put together originally, Wales was actually part of England. It wasn't a separate area. So the Welsh dragon, which is what you can see there, really wasn't part of the design of the Union flag. Even in 1801, it wasn't part of the design of the Union flag. So that is why Wales, God bless them, currently aren't part of the Union flag. And there is a movement at the moment about trying to combine a slightly alternative Welsh flag with the Union flag that's black and yellow. But that's something you can Google and look into. So we said a great outcome if you know how the Union flag's created. We've looked at that really well. and then explain the patron saint is, and now we're going to create a leaflet or poster showing our learning. So I would suggest that you use this website, projectbritain.com. There's a search bar up there, so you can type in Union flags, you can type in patron saints, you can type in St George, St David, St Patrick, St Andrew. Give you loads of information that's all accurate and gives you everything that you need. Obviously you can Google anywhere else on the internet as well, but I would suggest that you just look at Project Britain because it's making it a little bit easier. So what I'd like you to do is to create a leaflet or poster about the Union flag and who and what these people actually did. So you might include their myths and their legends, but you're going to also be looking at what they actually did. And they are the patron saints of the Union. So create a leaflet or poster, say send it please through to your teacher, make it look amazing, as I know that you will do, because the work that I've seen, certainly from my pupils, has been superb. Well, I'm going to leave it there actually, and that's it now from me. There is no more Faith, Philosophy and Life this academic year, and who knows what September will hold, but hopefully you'll be back in your classrooms. So well done, and take care for the last time. Stay safe, wash hands, keep washing your hands through the summer. It's very good to wash your hands, and God bless you. And thank you for your time this term, and I'll see you soon, possibly, if you're really lucky, or not. Bye.